Are you interested to connect with your customers in a deeper level or deliver that wow factor more consistently? Well, you came to the right video because in this video, I'm going to show you one framework that you can use to deliver that wow factor. Let's get started. Before we get to the framework, we are going to do a short visualization exercise. For those of you that want to skip this, skip right to the framework presentation. Now, let's get to the visualization exercise. Close your eyes and picture yourself going through the gate to go into your flight to New York City. You're headed to New York City for an important meeting. Now you walk into your plane, and as you walk by the pilot, they say hi to you. And then you're walking behind someone that's walking down the aisle a little bit too slow for you. And then as you pass that person, a couple to your right says hi to you. Now you sit down on your chair. The flight attendant comes by to you and hands you over a headset. So you're finally landed in New York City in your destination, and you begin walking down the aisle. And as you pass the flight attendant, you say, "Thank you for making this flight so memorable, comfortable, and enjoyable." Now open your eyes and try to remember as much as you can, or even write it down if you need to. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions. The pilot that said hi to you when you boarded your flight, how did that pilot look? Was the pilot tall, short? Was it a female or a male? Person that was walking slowly in front of you, was it an elderly, an injured athlete, or a young kid that was just simply walking down the aisle, hopping, skipping, and saying hi to everybody? And then the couple that said hi to you, was the couple a male, female, male, female? Did you enjoy that wired headset? What was your feeling when you received that wired headset? And then lastly, what do you consider a memorable, comfortable, and enjoyable flight? This simple exercise helps us understand the power of perspectives. We all have different ways of seeing and interpreting things. Our conscious, unconscious biases, our backgrounds, our experiences, our family makeup, the privilege we had growing up, and the world around us all shape the way we perceive things. The same holds true when managing projects. Everyone brings different perspectives to our projects. Your customer sponsor, your subject matter experts, your sales team, your customer success team, all have a different perspective on what success means. How do you decipher the unique perspectives, behaviors, cultural differences, and business objectives as a leader with so much information coming at you? It's simple. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 sense of customer engagement. It is a very simple framework that can be applied to many roles in your organizations, from sales, product development, account executive roles, project management roles. Now, before we start, I promise my last question. Ask yourself this, or ask your organization this. Why is it that with all the technology around us, from Zoom, MS Teams, Slack, Smartsheet, data analytical tools, and many more, that we still struggle to find a way to deliver excellent customer experience? And like I said earlier, that wow experience for your customers. While technology is great and is important to keep up with the market demands and your competitors, technology cannot replace the human element of what we do as project leaders, change leaders, people leaders, coaches, and account executives. Okay, we're going to get to it. As you can see on screen here, there's 6 disciplines and there's one core, which is the center of that image. The first discipline is 360 awareness. This means being aware of everything. You need to pay attention to everything that can influence your project, your customer's environment, your customer's business, industry they belong in, political landscape, just to name a few. This means not only to be present in the physical sense, but also to be mentally and emotionally present for them. Awareness is more than learning about facts, data, historical information, and reading lessons learned from previous projects. Awareness is spending time and energy getting into the world of your customers, understanding what matters to them, what gaps are we closing for them. Let's get out of the transactional or outcomes mindset and get into the relationship that you're potentially navigating an outcome for. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place to talk about outcomes, data, success metrics in your project. But first, we need to know who our customers are, their gaps, what they do, what makes them tick, their strengths, weaknesses, and get into their heart head and into their world. And remember, everyone will have a different perspective on the project, their roles, their timelines, their tasks. Your job is to be aware and decipher all that information into valuable information for you and your project team. The mistake that many people make is that we spend so much time talking about what we do, what we did, not nearly enough time about learning about our customers. In other words, let's be more relational in our approach, not transactional. There's a few ways that you can do this. Number one, set up a coffee time call with your stakeholder or your key sponsor. Not a status call, but a simple coffee time chat. Number two, ask your customer and team if they would be open to turning on their cameras doing project calls. Number three, ask if you can record your meetings. Have you tried any of these? Doing these will give you the opportunity to see or hear verbal or non-verbal behaviors on your calls. How they're moving their hands, are they pacing during the calls? And if you can only hear them on voice, what's their word choices? What's their tone of voice? All of these will become important signals for you. Now, as you become more aware, you will have a lot of information coming at you, and you will need a tool to sort through all of that information. A whole body decision is the ability to listen not only to your rational brain, but also to your emotional heart and instinctual gut. Let's start with the brain. Our brain analyzes information in a more logical and rational way that results to more informed decisions. Our brain is what processes all those contract information, lessons learned, budgetary information, and scope-related information, to name a few. Number two, our instinctual gut, which typically processes information, by the way, before our brains do. Have you ever regretted how you responded to an email? Or did you ever regret how you reacted in a meeting towards somebody? And that's because you reacted with your instinctual gut instead of your brain. Do you remember making a tough project call and felt uneasiness or butterflies in your stomach? Well, those are biological signals from our enteric nervous system, or ENS, or what I like to call our second brain. Without getting into the science, our gut does more than digest food. Research it some more online. And finally, your heart. Our heart is the third brain that connects your emotions, personal values, passion, and your moral compass to your decision-making process. I'm sure everyone here has made decisions in projects solely based on these points. Have you given a customer extra things for free because you felt emotionally invested to help your customer? By the way, this is called goal plating or scope creep, but that's for another video. So when you're at a crossroad or in a tough spot in a project, try to listen to your heart, brain, and gut. Listen to all three so that you can get that holistic view and understanding of your situation. Now let's move on to the third discipline, one of my favorites, which is clear communication. Making sure that we deliver consistent, clear, concise, and simple communication. The best and easiest way to explain what clear, concise, and simple communication is when you're able to communicate and transmit the same idea that's in your head to the other person. But remember, people process things differently, and everyone in your project will bring their own perspectives. Remember that. So making sure you communicate well, concise, and clear is one of the most important things you can do as a leader. And remember, be sensitive to everybody's communication styles. Everybody has a different way of processing information. Some people like things in writing, some verbal, and some like visuals. Does this mean we have to do all of these things? The short answer is yes. To lead people through change, you have to do all three things. The last thing you want is to see people become resistors to change, and all because of a miscommunication or lack of communication. The fourth discipline is adaptability. Projects are supposed to be unique, and as project leaders, we need to accept the fact that things will always change. There are external factors that affect everything we do in a project, so don't count on projects to be a linear process, because you will just disappoint yourself. Let's anticipate and always be ready to pivot. So you've been aware and made whole body decisions. You customize your communication plan to address everyone's needs. You've now pivoted several times to accommodate all the changes to the scope of your project or change initiatives, but your project calls are still not as smooth as you expected. You start to get stressed out. You start to question your delivery method, your style, and even your attitude. I'm here to tell you, everybody, as long as you followed the previous principles, there is nothing wrong with you or your project. And the next discipline, diplomacy, will explain why there's nothing wrong with you or your methodology or your project or your project team. The change initiative or the project you're trying to deliver is impacting people's lives, so conflict and sometimes friction are unavoidable. Don't get me wrong, we don't want too many conflicts or friction. But if you've been in business long enough or you've been around the block long enough, you know that ideas and great solutions are outcomes from really tough conversations. I've been in many brainstorming or working sessions where things got heated. But at the end of the day, we came up, or the team came up, with a great idea and some great solutions for our customers. So let's encourage ourselves, our teams, to challenge each other. And don't be afraid to have healthy conflicts in our engagement. The message here, everybody, is never to use conflict or friction as a success criteria for your engagements or change initiatives. Now, the last discipline is persistence. Now, if you've been aware, made whole body decisions, communicated clearly, adapted, been diplomatic, it's time to be persistent. Be persistent when people try to shift away from the goal of the project. Be persistent with your team to focus on quality. Be persistent for your project sponsor. Remember, there will be situations where other resources will try to redirect scope, goals, success criteria away from the original goal success criteria of your project. Your job as a project leader or a change leader is to ensure that everybody stays on course and follows the North Star that we developed during the initiation or formulation phase of your project or initiative. And remember, the art of project management or change management is knowing when to push, knowing when to sprint, and knowing when to step back. Every project will have its own rhythm, and the art of project management or change management is to find that balance for your project. Otherwise, you might make things worse or deliver low quality work. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't make whole body decisions, struggling to find the right communication style, unsure about adaptability, continue to see unhealthy conflict, and being persistent is not helping, look at the center of this diagram. As you can see, it's the core. Remember that you should always stay true to the core, the center of this diagram. This core consists of your morals, values, your organization, and your customers' mission and vision or goals for this project. Your core should be non-negotiable. So when you're at a crossroad trying to make tough decisions for your projects, always go back to the core and ask yourself, will this align to your core values? Or is what I'm doing aligned to my customers' goals and objectives for this project? Well, that wraps things up, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Just to recap, we went through the 6 sense of customer engagement. As you can see on the screen one more time, we went through the awareness discipline, whole body decision discipline, the clear communication discipline, adaptability, diplomacy, persistence, and last but not least, the core, the center of that image. I hope you enjoyed this, and make sure you try this out.